play him at guard his rookie year, like Jonathan Ogden played guard with Baltimore before moving out to tackle, depending on what happens with Tyron Smith.
Yeah, that front seven, that defense, as Daniel said, is really huge. They've got two really fast linebackers available in this draft also. Those guys became superstars in Seattle once those front guys started to eat.
With the Chargers almost 2 minutes into they being on the clock, 13th overall, and Mac Jones still out there. Here's the commissioner with the Dallas Cowboys picked at 12th overall here in Cleveland. This appears to be some more fun coming up on the stage here.
Okay. Through Draftathon, we're partnering with Mental Health America to support resources for those that need it. Kanikia Bedrine, an Army veteran from Dallas, struggled with anxiety and depression after returning from Iraq. She turned her struggle into triumph and is now a licensed social worker who provides mental health counseling. Kanikia, we thank you for your service and all you do to continue to help others during this challenging time. Please do us the honor of making the Cowboys pick.
Oh my God! How about them Cowboys? Woo! Woo! Yes! And with the 12th pick in the 2021 NFL Draft, the Dallas Cowboys select Micah Parsons. Woo! Linebacker, Penn State. Yes!
I think this is also a good point for us to mention that Drew Pearson is slated to make the pick for the Cowboys tomorrow.
Oh, here we go.
So Micah Parsons from Harrisburg, PA, and he played at Penn State, where Sean Lee played, and as we know, he just retired after many meritorious but injury-marred years in Dallas. He now joins Leighton Vander Esch and Jalen Smith to, as you point out, it's front dependent. That's front seven dependent right there, and he is a heck of a player coming to Dallas.
And he can run and cover all day long. Running backs and tight ends is not an issue. He can line him up anywhere you want. Dan Quinn's going to have fun with him as a chess piece. And he's a dynamic blitzer. I'm not convinced you couldn't just line him up and let him rush the quarterback. He might be a double-digit sack guy. He's that good coming off the edge.
And DJ, think about what Washington has done now with Logan Thomas increasing at tight end. Philadelphia still has there too with Ertz and Goddard. So being able to defend those guys as well as come off the edge is kind of like Dante Hightower when he was with New England.
My notes: blitzer, A+, run defender, A+, pass coverage, A+. This guy is fast, he's explosive, he is downhill, and he will shine in this defense. There's no question about it. Hopefully the commissioner's going to be all right. But this guy is unbelievable. I was texting with James Franklin earlier, just wondering who is going to get this guy. This is a perfect fit.
Micah Parsons just went officer and a gentleman on the commissioner, I think, almost right there.
The good news, if he tweaks his back, he's got a comfortable chair to sit in.
Yes, he
so
does.
He's just fine.
Well, I mean, if the fans get out of it, but this kid is really good, man.
Yeah, again, I just mentioned it. This guy can do anything you want on a football field. Coach mentioned him being fast. Not kind of fast. 4.36 40 speed at 246 pounds. That's not normal, by the way, to be that big and that explosive. When you watch him on video at Penn State, you really can't take your eyes off him. It's hard to find linebackers who can get off blocks. This guy comes downhill, uses his hands. He can shock and shed and get to the ball carrier. He's not an avoid and ignore guy off the ball. Here he is off the edge. Does show you some of that athleticism to be able to rip through and slip through the block and make a play in the backfield. The range is legitimate sideline to sideline range. Something Leighton Vander Esch does very well with his range as well. He's going to fit in, and here's the blitzing. This is what I referenced a little bit earlier. When he puts his foot in the ground and decides to go, he gets from A to B immediately to create pressure. Coming off the edge here, if he was just an edge rusher, I think he'd be one of the top 3 or 4 edge rushers in the draft. There's the blitz, there's the speed. It shows up in Penn State. Did not play this last year. He was an opt-out. If you're worried about what he might look like after a year off, go watch his pro day. It's one of the best linebacker pro days I've ever seen.
Yeah, you know, Ryan Shazier had that type of speed coming out of Ohio State. He wore number 11 like LeVar Arrington. But here's my comp for him. Jalen Smith, a guy that he's going to join now because remember before Jalen Smith hurt his knee and his leg, his speed was unbelievable, and he's still super fast. Watch this guy now coming off of the edge, as you guys have pointed out, his ability to swing back and play in the middle and make every tackle that needs to be made. Uber athletic. I love this pick.
Welcomed into the National Football League and the NFC East by somebody he's familiar with, Saquon Barkley, who will come back this year, and maybe they'll meet in the hole a couple of times.
I know you like the pick, and I like the player too. They better start getting the mileage out of these players.
They can't stay healthy, Lou.
Well, I tell you, but look, maybe not. But I'll tell you this, what plagued them
Here we go.
was coverage bust after coverage bust after coverage bust. They better start getting that corrected.
All right, the Dallas Cowboys are next. Let's see which direction they choose to go. Here comes Drew Pearson, who after a long wait found his way into the Hall of Fame, so deservedly so this year. Here's the pick.
Thank you, thank you. I am honored to be here to represent the Dallas Cowboys, to have this opportunity to announce the 44th pick in the second round. I'm also honored to be here in Cleveland, Ohio, home of one of the all-time greatest franchises in NFL football history. And I stand here tonight on the shoulders of many great Cleveland Brown football players like Jim Brown, Leroy Kelly, Bobby Mitchell, Gene Hickerson, John Woolen, Gary Collins, Dr. Frank Ryan, and the great number 42, Paul Warfield. As a kid growing up, the Cleveland Browns were one of my favorite franchises, favorite teams I supported. However, on behalf of the five-time world champion Dallas Cowboys, Hall of Fame owner Mr. Jerry Jones, Miss Jean Jones and the Jones family, head coach Mike McCarthy, all those players that played before me, with me, and after me, and of course, to Cowboy Nation. With the second pick in the 44th pick in the second round, the Dallas Cowboys select defensive back from Kentucky, Kelvin Joseph.
All right, they should let Drew Pearson announce all the picks. Kelvin Joseph, here we go. Interesting journey. Louisiana native, began his college career at LSU. Was suspended for violating team rules, transferred, so just one season as a collegiate starter, but it was a great season at Kentucky.
It was. You think about intercepted Mac Jones. Mac Jones didn't throw many. Kelvin Joseph had one of those picks against Mac Jones. You think about a kid formerly of LSU. He had his career there. Highly recruited kid, four-star recruit, excellent career at the high school level. Elite player in the state of Louisiana, recruited by Alabama, Florida, Auburn. Everybody wanted him. Goes to LSU, leaves LSU, go to Kentucky in 2019, sat out that year. And then in 2020, this past year, as a third-year sophomore, started 9 games, opted out late. But he had 4 picks. He had that pick 6 against Tennessee, interception against Georgia, an interception against Mississippi State, and that interception against Alabama and Mac Jones. Kid who has that 6'1", 195 pounds, the length you want, 4.35 speed, good arm length. I think this is a kid adds a little inconsistency in coverage at times, but overall, second-round pick. If he stays focused on the job at hand, Kelvin Joseph had a chance to be a really good corner.
Again, you see all the things that you talk about as far as can you count on him, from a character standpoint. That's why a guy like this falls into the second round, because he has tremendous cover skills. He's tough. He's not scared. He will challenge you down the football field. You can send him off the corner on those boundary corner fire blitzes, and he will smack your quarterback if he's not looking.
We're back on ESPN's coverage of the third round of the NFL Draft. The Cowboys are ready to go. And they have a special announcer of their selection.
What's up, Cleveland? I'm here, and with the 75th pick in the 2021 NFL Draft, the Dallas Cowboys select Osa Odigizua, defensive tackle from UCLA.
the three-time state champion wrestler in high school in Oregon, Mel.
Always like that, Greeny. I don't know, about Tweener. Was he going to be a right fit in the scheme? Where's he going to be, Lou, when he's in the NFL? That's what you thought when he was making plays at UCLA. He had 10 tackles for loss in 2019. This past year, I watched him against Cal, and he's dominating the football game. Had 3 tackles for loss in that game. 4 sacks, was second on the team. He had a good game against Colorado, strong against Arizona State. Look at that motor. Never, ever quits on a play. Sells out on the field all the time. Versatile. Sees action in multiple spots along the defensive line at UCLA. Active hands. Generates good power. Can he hold up along the interior with the size he has, Lou?
Yeah, you know what? What allows him to hold up, Mel, is he has exceptional hand use. Some guys play long arm with long arm. Some guys play short arm and they have long arm. This guy controls blocks. He plays the game out in front of him. He can get knocked back at the line of scrimmage. He's great laterally along the line of scrimmage, and Dallas needs that. Remember Dallas last year against the Cleveland Browns, what happened to him when they had the ball ran for about 3,000 yards on him in that game? Odigizua will help calm some of that down because he is a heck of a player in the run game. Has to refine his pass rush ability. Don't know if he has the foot speed to ever be a dominant 3 technique, Booger, but he's a heck of a run defender.
Well, Boog, you're a regular on Get Up with me, Lewis, and Mel. You both are as well. We've talked so much about how the Cowboys needed to address the defense, and to their credit, they've gone after it tonight.
And it's a guy that they're going to try to find that's a fit. Remember, Dan Quinn is the new defensive coordinator. That Seattle cover 3 scheme. You got to have rushers up front. So I think this is them taking a flyer in the 3rd round on the guy to see if they can generate some pass rush now, and let's block on the edge.
All right, the Dallas Cowboys are on the clock here, and they have gone defense thus far in this draft. So we'll see what direction Jerry and Stephen Jones are interested in taking it here with pick number 86. As we are moving through the picks more and more quickly here, Cowboys set to announce their next selection. And here we go.
With the 84th pick in the 2021 NFL Draft, the Dallas Cowboys select Chauncey Golston, defensive end, Iowa.
Defense again, Mel.
Defensive player for Kirk Ferentz, who was a team leader. That's the one thing stuck out with Chauncey Golston. A guy, high-effort player, has the ability to get after the quarterback. He showed that. He hustles against the run game, gives you a complete performance each and every week. Guy that really kind of grew on you. The more you watch him play, he showed up. He's got that quick takeoff. He's got that ability to beat that tackle out of his stance. He comes hard. If you lack intensity, you're going to get beat. If you can't sustain, you're going to get beat. This kid will help this football team. I like the pick. I thought he might drop to the 4th or 5th round into day 3, maybe a round earlier than I thought, but you can't argue with the production or the intensity or the consistency he played for. He was a guy on the defensive side of the ball, along with Davion Nixon, number 54, who has yet to hear his name called, but probably will pretty soon. Those 2 guys, I think, were able to wreak some havoc and be disruptive on a game-to-game basis.
You know, if you look at a team like the Cowboys last year, they couldn't do anything defensively, stopping the run or the pass. This guy's an edge setter. You can put him out there and you know you have a stout, big, long human being up front that can set the edge, and now you can start to see what the Cowboys are doing, Greeny. You talked about some of the picks they've made. They're trying to fortify our defense that was absolutely terrible last year.
The Green Bay Packers are up next. It's obviously been a tumultuous 36 hours for them, with Adam Schefter breaking the news yet.
He was the guy. He was the show down in Mobile, Alabama, and the reason I think a lot of people hold him in high regard.
All right, pick number 99 is next. The Dallas Cowboys, who have been defense heavy in the draft thus far, having taken a linebacker, a corner, and 2 defensive linemen. Let's see where they go here.
With the 99th pick in the 2021 NFL Draft, the Dallas Cowboys select Nahshon Wright, defensive back, Oregon State.
Well, the theme continues, Mel. They're just loading up on the defensive side of the ball.
Yeah, Nahshon Wright has the ability. Athletically, you look at the ability size-wise, and that's what you're looking at, Lou, as a former defensive back. If you can have that type of physicality in the Pac-12 at that level, and this Oregon State program has supplied the NFL with some good football players, decent to good ball skills. You notice that at Oregon State during his career, and the ability to get into that backfield, to do what you need to do on the blitz, on that corner blitz, and get after quarterbacks. That's Davis Mills. He's stripping the football from the Stanford quarterback. Nahshon Wright, I thought I graded him as a 5th, 6th rounder. This is a little rich for me. but they obviously saw a lot they like Dallas so far. Obviously, that emphasis on improving the defense.
Yeah, look, Dan Quinn, big, long, tall corners, guys who can get up on the line of scrimmage, play some press, play with their hips open, play some press bail. Guys who have good range, good ball skills, finish on the football like you're seeing right here on your screen. That's drafting traits, that's drafting development potential, and then seeing if we can refine it and mold it into a good quality top 3, top 4 corner on your roster.
We have 6 picks left tonight as we go through the compensatories, wrapping up round 3.
This is the 2021 NFL Draft, presented by Courtyard by Maryland.
Day 3 of the NFL Draft, the Dallas Cowboys about to make a selection, and thus far the Cowboys have picked 5 defensive players because their defense was not good last year, to put it mildly, worse in franchise history. Jerry Jones and grandchild with him to make the pick.
Live from the Ford Center, home of the Dallas Cowboys, I'm here with my grandson, James Jones.
With the 115th pick in the 2021 NFL Draft, Dallas Cowboys select Jabril Cox, linebacker, LSU.
Put him on it, yes.
Cowboys flat going to get that defense fixed if they can. They do it. Micah Parsons. Now they've got Jabril Cox. You've got Leighton Vander Esch. Jalen Smith. Yep. They're loaded up there. Cox, North Dakota State started, went to LSU, really didn't have the benefit of getting ready due to the pandemic, but still fit in well.
He fit in well. He became a leader, and he was one of the guys on a defense that really didn't play well that just kept showing up all the time. He doesn't do a great job of getting off of blocks. That's where he has to improve. He's not the biggest guy. He's 6'3", 232 pounds, but he's fast, he's athletic, and he's great in the passing game. And if you go back to North Dakota State, 14 sacks, 6 interceptions during his career with the Bison, which I heard is plural and not plural, right?
Yeah,
and also
singular and
plural, right? Thank you, Reese. And then in 2020 at LSU, he had 3 interceptions. He was just great in coverage, and you can see his instincts in zone and in man. And if you can protect him and get him out of kind of the box where he has to take on blocks, he could be very effective.
In 2018 at North Dakota State, he returned 2 of those interceptions for touchdowns. His coverage skills, I watched him against tight ends, wide receivers. He can run with anybody.
He might be the best cover linebacker in this draft.
And if you start thinking about what we've been talking about, the direction that the NFL's going, guys in space, you're going to want linebackers that can cover, and Jabril Cox can certainly do that.
Think about what they've done now at Dallas. I mean, you got Micah Parsons and Jabril Cox. Throw in Kelvin Joseph. You've got the defensive tackle, defensive end, another cornerback, and Nashawn Wright that they've already drafted, late in the 3rd round at pick 99. So this team is loading up on the defensive side.
And Kelvin Joseph, highly talented. If they can harness that talent, he's got elite athleticism.
The 2021 NFL Draft, presented by Courtyard by Marriott, is brought to you by Can-Am, ATVs and side-by-side, made for off-road living.
Back here on day 3 of the NFL Draft, Reese Davis, Mel Kiper, Todd McShay, and Louis Riddick. Glad to have you along. Cleveland fans showing out. Mel's best available, brought to you by Courtyard by Marriott. Here's who hasn't been taken yet.
Changing a little bit, Reese. You see Shi Smith, another receiver we talked about, and Sage Surratt. So those guys we're talking about, the depth at wide receiver. That's why some are still on the board.
I love him, too.
We're into the compensatory picks. Cowboys have one. Here's Mike McCarthy.
From the Ford Center, this is Mike McCarthy with the 138th pick in the 2021 NFL Draft. The Dallas Cowboys select Josh Ball, offensive tackle, Marshall University.
All right, the Cowboys up to this point had taken 6 defensive guys. So Mike McCarthy said, give me that microphone. Enough of this. I need somebody on offense.
Yeah, left tackle. Began his career at Florida State, then goes to Butler Community College, ends up at Marshall. Run blocking, some down blocks I like, the athletic ability to get the job done in space, but the results weren't always what you hope for as a run blocker. Pass protection, like this punch, like this hand placement. He gets caught leading at times. That's an issue, and from a technique standpoint, leads to some balance issues in pass pro. I think he's a work in progress, more of a developmental prospect for the Cowboys offensive line coach. Has something to work with there. Josh Ball, I think in time, may be able to push for a starting job, but certainly not right away as a rookie in the National Football League. Still a little raw, but there's some things to work with. He has decent feet, plays a little high for me, Todd. I think when you get in the NFL against these great pass rushers, he may run into some trouble.
When you're almost 6'8", you're going to tend to play a little high. And he's a community college transfer from Butler Community College. Still developing, came in 2019, but there is definitely something to work with here. There's clay to be molded.
Brand in cordless outdoor power introduces the Select Cut mower, built to exceed the power of gas. Customize the cut with Ego's revolutionary dual-blade cutting system with 3 interchangeable blades. Featuring Ego's patented 56-volt arc lithium battery technology, it cuts for over an hour on a single charge. And touch-drive self-propelled technology makes it effortless. The Ego Select Cut mower, only at Lowe's, Ace, and Ego authorized dealers.
One for me and one for me. Introducing buy one, get one for just $1 at Burger King. Grab a flame-grilled Whopper or Impossible Whopper and mix or match it with your favorites.
Make fitness routine with Pure Protein.
High protein, low sugar. Tastes great. High protein, low sugar. So good.
High protein, low sugar. Birthday cake.
Pure Protein. Find our coupons in Sunday's paper.
In 2005, Dr. Pepper sent 3 flavorists into a vault to perfect the impossible. Dr. Pepper Zero Sugar. Today, they finally emerged.
We did it! 23 flavors with 0 sugar.
What took so long?
Huh?
What took so long?
We sacrificed years in the vault. I haven't seen my family in 16 years.
My boys. It was hard being from Minnesota and seeing that it happen. So for me, it was about educating myself so I could educate others. It would have been unfair for me to tell the people to educate themselves and me not know as much as I possibly can about the history of our country and the history of situations like it. I wore cleats for my last game. There was 204 on them. It was 204 days since the murder of Breonna Taylor. And there was also names of victims of social injustice, stories that have had a huge impact on me growing up and a huge impact on my family. I understand that obviously people don't agree with it across the country, but I did what I believe is right, and I'm going to continue to do that.
Trey had said that he never really thought that he would have to worry about walking outside and getting...
Right, assumed his future would play out on the hard court, not the gridiron. But turns out he was wrong. He weighed offers to play pro basketball. But then he received an unexpected call from the Dallas Cowboys.
The Dallas Cowboys had 137 rookies in training camp. Only 5 made the team, and I was one of the 5.
Drafted in the 7th round, Wright played 13 years at right tackle in Dallas, won 2 Super Bowl rings, and now looks back on his career as a member of the Pro Football Hall of Fame.